Bless my heart. A stranger come knocking on a poor old woman's door. You here for a particular reason? Or did the neighbors tell you how good my sugar cookies are? Made without a single natural ingredient. Those have been the height of illegality since Stellar Bay turned their noses up at the board. You and I could be thrown to the void just for discussing such a transaction. Lucky for us, Groundbreaker's a free port. We're outside of the board's control. For the time being, at least. Now, I only have the one nav key. And they're hard to come by these days. It won't be cheap. Well, I find I'm in need of a ship captain with a little moral flexibility. Might be this could help out the Groundbreaker, as well as earn some bits. But if you've got qualms... Do you know Edna, over in engineering? Sweet as a pea, that. She sent me a recording of a distress signal she'd scraped from the Groundbreaker's comm array. Curious thing is, it came from an outpost called Roseway. And Auntie Cleo abandoned that place years. Can't say I know for sure. Maybe it never really was.
Comm centers don't operate themselves, Captain. Someone had to have sent that distress call manually.
Those corps are cleverer than all get out. Might have been a ruse to keep the rest of the board from... Edna didn't seem to think so, and I trust the dear girl's judgment. Well, maybe not in men, but she knows her comms. And if someone set up shop in Roseway, I'd wager they got something to hide. Maybe whatever they're hiding went to heck, and now they need a few... If you should find a secret worth selling, might be I could find a buyer. Corporate bigwig. The more we got the corps fighting each other, the less time they got to meddle in our affairs. My goodness, aren't you quick? Should you find yourself responding to a certain distress call, and in so doing find yourself in possession of... Then we ought to have a chat over a pot of tea and my famous cookies. Law bless your atoms. Here's a copy of the... Don't forget to come find old Gladys when you're done. Might want to acquaint yourself with Junlei Tennyson, Groundbreaker's chief. She's been trying to get a handle on this heat problem. You'll find her fretting in engineering. I'd say she's a sweet girl, but law for... Yet... Anytime, sweetheart. You know where to...
Remember Auntie Cleo, because she...
Rizzo's mock apple cider. Hard cider for a hard life.
Hey there, you mind stepping back? This charming little ship's been impounded and I'm afraid I'd surely love to, but that's just not my bailiwick. Gosh, I wouldn't dream.
She's a good ship, ma'am.
Happy to hear it. I ain't felt so much as a tepid breeze in...
Well, it doesn't smell as bad here as Edgewater's graveyard in high summer.
Whew. I'm starting to feel like a sis. Have yourself a pleasant day.
Rizzo's Lemon Slap. Slap your whole family tonight.
It's almost time for today's episode of the What do you want then? That's right, dearie. Though for how long, I can't... The board can't abide a community that won't bend to its will. They've always got one scheme or another running, but it won't work. Go right ahead. Groundbreakers radiators. Miss Junley's supposed... The board can't... They've always... But it won't... Oh, a little of this. I also knit throw pillows stuffed with the hair of famous tossball players. But that's more of a...
I'm not sure that's...
That's half the But that's not... Ask the common folk, and they'll tell you it's on... Because that's what... I think they made some fool Those board folk are real prideful like. But old Gladys knows the score. That's why we gotta keep... Probably. Claims he's transmitting from Monarch. Anytime, sweet...
Anywhere, you hear?
Go back to Byzantium, you gold-plated bastards.
I'm just gonna hang in the back and try not to touch anything.
Ah, yes. Wheeler messaged me you were coming. You must be the captain of the Unreliable, a vessel that used to be helmed by one Alex... Has something happened to my favorite scruff... Oh no, this is terrible. Oh... What? I'm sorry? I'm quite... But you... It's all...
Oh, Captain, be nice.
Yes, please do.
On second thought, maybe you should be mean to him just the littlest bit.
Fine. You're free to go. I've removed the impound order on your ship. But before you go, Alex promised to tell me the location of Phineas Wells. I'm sure you've seen his wanted posters all over the colony. Did Alex... You haven't read the posters? He's a terrorist. Well, Alex knew, or he said he did, and you haven't. That's... Oh, I'm sorry.
Supposedly looking at deplorable Oh, good law! Who'd want... You've noticed my... They're here to... When the... Oh, good law, of course. As this office is the primary embassy for the board. Ask her what...
XS411s? And an old Yakita 37? Do you think they'd let me peek at the power plant?
Junlei Tennyson. I'm captain around here, but chief to my friends. Hope you don't mind the formal introduction. Groundbreaker doesn't see many visitors. No, it isn't. It's a mess. But it's my mess, so I'll take the compliment. Just so we understand each other, I'm the final word on the ship. The Mardits, the crew, the engineers, their family. At ease. Nice to see you. So what brings you to Groundbreaker? I'm curious, even though 9 times out of 10, the... Interesting. The powers that be paint an ugly picture of Monarch. Critters and such. We see a lot of the same faces coming and going. Most of them board spies and corporate sprats. Makes it hard to trust outsiders. Groundbreaker's radiators need replacement parts. They're dumping superheated... Only the board has access to new parts, and I won't let them swindle me. They want us to sweat, thinking that'll soften me up for a bad faith deal. If you look, the board isn't helping and my resources are spread thin. If I don't get those radiators back on... Reasonable, huh? According to my grandmother's old schematics, the parts we need should be in the back bays. Sorry, I forgot not everyone knows this ship like I do. The back bays are on a lower deck, along a bit. I have. One of my engineers. I can't afford to lose any Mardits on this job. No offense, but... Nice and pragmatic. Good. Once you've... What can I do for you, Cap? Frustrating. Everything down to the circuit boards is past warranty, so... Plus, there's no time to train my successor or document fixes in a way that anyone... Sure is. The Tennysons came over on the Groundbreaker. I was promoted only recently, when my mom died.
They must have been amazing people.
That means a lot coming from a fellow engineer. It was different knowing that I couldn't turn to anyone who could answer the tough questions for me. Maybe you can see why I'm protective of Groundbreaker. This ship is family. I hope that was a joke, Captain. I gelded that thing years ago. Now it brews a skin that goes down stronger than...
Oh, gosh. I don't know.
Don't sell yourself short. It doesn't take a seasoned pro to tinker on Groundbreaker. Just someone who knows. We're always thirsting for help. If you could find your way around this labyrinth of ducts and panels, we could work something out. You've got my...
What? I didn't think you just...
Parvati, is it? That's a lovely name. What can I do for you?
I was just thinking, I haven't got much experience working with...
Junlei is fine.
Okay. Since you run a whole space station, I was wondering if... Well...
I'd be happy to make the time, Parvati.
Wow, great! I'll do that then. Messages. Later. Couldn't have done it without your moral...
Now, if there's nothing else, there are other parts of the ship begging for my attention.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regular... scheduled advertisement for the following...
CNP pancake mix. Now requires no mixing.
Are you listening to me, Emperor?
Sorry about the heat. Chief Tennyson will get the radiators fixed. Oh, a lot of Heard of it? My orientation aether wave show.
I liked it fine enough.
I'm sure they're doing their best. So, what can I get you? Some soap? Everyone loves it. I'm bound to satisfy headgear. You would never ask if you knew what it's... I mean, why, anyone can be a spacer. It's not the best choice! It's taste of freedom!
Chief wants to reduce board size.
Rizzo's Purple Berry Cereal Flakes and Purple Berry flavored power nuggets. Now with 12% more crunch.
Hey, you got a second? Hey, we don't know each other yet, but I'm Felix Millstone. I was in the middle of a little discussion with the local authorities when you passed me by. I noticed your ship in port. Got to thinking you might... Gotta hand it to you, boss. That's a fun... Yes, just give me a shot. That's all I'm... You're serious. You're giving me a... I put together a little... Hey there. I'm Felix Millstone. I have prepared a... Yeah. Firstly, I am highly personable, and I get along with...
I'm sorry. He's funny.
Secondly, I can be counted on in the event of a fire... That motto is a... Additionally, I have several years of experience as a box hauler. This skill may come in... In conclusion, thank you for considering...
I thought that was real good, Felix.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. What do you think? The fun kind? Wow. Thanks.
You got a crew now.
Somehow I always... Didn't I tell you? I'm secretly the chairman's orphan child, abandoned at birth in the back bays. That's right. Honestly, before you picked me up, I was living in the back bays. I was what folks on the Groundbreaker call a stowaway. Means I was invisible. Life carried on for everybody else, but not for me. I had to... That's what they called us. Orphans with no family, no company to take us. The word's a touch kindlier than rung leech, but the meaning's just as clear. If you can't support your own self... I never asked for... I lived my whole life looking out at the stars. But I could never hope to be any... You spend your best years laboring on the docks, watching your horizons shrink with every passing day? Hauling boxes was about the only work I could find. Guy never liked me, always trying to get a rise out of me. But I keep... He's a Spacer's chosen man, though. So when the Chosen beat my Rangers the other night, my foreman comes... Exactly. I was only doing what any... Look, this was a long time coming. Guy thinks he can push me around because he's some sky-high foreman, and I'm just a back bay's dock worker. Former dock worker, anyway. That's all in the past now. Oh, I can do civilized. I caught a real lucky break. If you hadn't picked me up, I'd still... Yeah. Thanks for listening, boss. Yeah, boss? Whatever you say.
Hail, Captain. Your return time is within 14% of the expected value. We have successfully arrived at Phineas's orbital lab, Captain, and we are still in one piece. Shall I congratulate myself, or would you like to do the honors?
Hello? Can you hear me? Does this work? Oh, damn it! Blast, that's loud.
Done.
I'm just securing my ongoing experiments. And securing myself. Mind the mess. I haven't had a visitor since... in fact, I've never had a visitor.
Oh, thank the law. Your skin hasn't spontaneously changed color. Potential side effect of the revival process. Right. Welcome to my little habitation, such as it is. So, welcome. Make your... Oh, balderdash. You hadn't yet recovered your faculties of speech. What was I to do? Dear... Still, I... Nonsense. There's no such thing as luck. Only well calculated. Of course. What's up? Never know what being frozen did to your brain. I've no desire to end up like Thompson. Regardless, it's quite comfortable. No, and I've been trying very hard.
Fine looking hideout you got here.
Wait, not another word. I don't want to know your name. I don't want to know who. Why don't you just invite the entire colony to my secret, carefully... Oh, fine. As long as you're vouching. For what it's worth, I am pleased that you... I picked you out of the hope for your talents, after all. What's on your mind? Aha! I see you. Found my portable molecular compression device, better known as a shrink ray. Find a target, point, shoot. Your target will shrink down into a manageable size, whereupon you may commence beating them to a pulp. Feel free to try it on a marauder sometime. excellent test subjects. Also surprisingly nutritious.